Attorneys, your best paralegal is about to quit. Not the one who complains, but the quiet, reliable one who never misses a deadline and never makes a fuss. That's the one heading for the door, and you probably won't see it coming until the resignation email lands. Let me show you why. Quick context: my name is Hugo E. Gomez. I'm the founder of Legal Staff Now. We place virtual staff from Latin America for law firms nationwide, and I've seen this story play out more times than I can count. But here's the good news: once you see the pattern, it's completely preventable. First, know this isn't just about your firm. Thomson Reuters found that voluntary turnover among non attorney legal staff hit about 25% at mid sized firms last year. That's up from 21% 2 years earlier. One in four support staff walked, and paralegals are leaving the fastest of all because with low unemployment in legal, your best one has a stack of other offers anytime they want them. However, here's a twist at the center of this. The reason you trust them is ironically the reason they're leaving. Because they're reliable, you hand them the overflow, the rush job, the difficult client, the case nobody else wants. It all flows to the person who won't drop it. You're not punishing them on purpose, but competence quietly becomes a sentence to more work than anyone else carries. And the load is heavier than you realize. Your best paralegals are often grinding 2,000 plus billable hours a year. And on top of that, studies show roughly 70% of their day gets eaten by admin and clerical work that has nothing to do with their actual skill. They're doing 2,000 plus hours quietly, and most of it isn't even in the work you hired them for. That's a recipe for significant burnout. Now, here's why you miss it completely: they don't complain, and that's frankly a problem. The same conscientiousness that makes them great makes them suffer in silence. They'll absorb and absorb and absorb right up until the day that they're done. By the time a great paralegal tells you they're unhappy, they've usually already decided to leave. The complaint isn't the warning sign, it's usually the silence. So here's some different signals that you need to look out for. They're not loud ones, they're quiet ones. Work that used to come back early now comes in right at the deadline. The person who always had ideas in the meeting suddenly goes quiet. Small errors creep into the work that used to be flawless. That's not slipping performance. That's a burned out top performer running on fumes, and it's your last window to act. And if you miss that window, it can get really expensive. Replacing a paralegal can cost anywhere from half to twice their annual salary once you count recruiting, the months a seat sits empty, and the ramp time before a new hire is actually useful. But the real cost is what you can't put on a spreadsheet: the case knowledge, the client relationships, and the deadlines that slip while everyone else scrambles to cover those gaps. So the fix isn't money. That's what everyone does. They just throw money at this problem. But people rarely burn out over pay, they burn out over the load. The fix isn't a raise, it's lightening the load. Take the overflow off your best person, and your retention problem starts solving itself. The question is where that overflow should go. And that's exactly the gap that we fill. Give the overflow to a virtual team member, especially one that's very well equipped with AI tools. The document review, the record chasing, the intake calls, the routine drafting, hand it to a dedicated, vetted virtual paralegal so your best in house person gets back to the high value work. The stuff that has a lot of leverage, the stuff that they're really great at. You protect your star, you add capacity, and you do it for a fraction of another local salary. This isn't theory. The firms that are doing this, that deliberately keep their core people from drowning, are the ones posting zero turnover while everyone else is on the third round of hiring. Nobody quits when nobody's buried. That's what protecting your best people actually looks like. So if your best paralegal is carrying too much and you'd rather keep them than replace them, that's a conversation worth having today, not after the resignation email. So book a call. Our link is in the call notes, and we'll figure out where to take the load off with you.